If you're up at the western end of the airfield towards the American Air Museum, why not go and see our friends at the Duxford Radio Society, stalwarts of the scene here. They can be found in buildings 177 and 178, just to the east of the American Air Museum. They're having various radio displays up until 3:30 p.m. today, including their recreation of the wireless operator station in an Avro Lancaster bomber, and you can enjoy that in a hands-on fashion and practice your Morse code skills. One reminder, incidentally, that if you're parked in the area south of the land warfare exhibition, there won't be any public access to that during the flying display. You won't be able to return to your vehicle to see you until after, indeed, sign you up as a supporter, which allows you to take a tour of the B-17 prior to the flying display, and indeed on future flying display occasions over the course of the year at Duxford. The Catalina Society also have a stand. They support Plain Sailing's consolidated Catalina amphibious flying boat, which we'll also see in the display today.
Mum want to stay here while we go.
The Friends of the Fighter collection can be found in Hangar 2 and would be very pleased to see you and sign you up also, as would indeed the members of the Blenheim Society. OV-10B Bronco. It'll be getting into the air in pretty short order, because that was one of the essential attributes of this aeroplane in operational service. In the early 1960s, there was increasing interest on the part of the US military in a tough, easy to maintain and easy to operate close support aircraft, able to support glass dome in the rear fuselage instead of the rear cargo door. Part of the Bronco demo team based at Kortrijk-Wevelgem in Belgium, hence the Lest We Forget and poppy markings on this aircraft, honouring the fact this aircraft is based. Tony De Bruyne then, on the North American Rockwell OV-10B Bronco, opening the flying programme at the 2017...
We're happy to go ahead with today's display. The guys would usually land as close as possible to each other, but today we're going to perform a crowd line spot. What that means is the guys are going to land spread out roughly 190 degrees so everybody can see a red depth land. Just been informed that it's actually the plane going round again, so a massive round of applause. On the left side of the arena, we have a canopy formations team. They would have been working extremely hard up there to pull that formation off. Shortly, they shall cut away and go into their own landing patterns. As you can see, Mike French is working very hard to land that flag. A massive round of applause. Our canopy formations team. And our last man down, our cameraman, Corporal.
2-to-1, meaning that the power generated, you could actually accelerate vertically out from here.
The girls already getting into their waving stride. They'll be back with us shortly. The big day glow patches on the airframe applied by the West German Air Force to increase the aircraft's visibility as part of its target towing role. Tony is never enthusiastic.
When we were here, pretty good trick, isn't it? Yesterday I said this is not the kind of thing that everybody would want to do, and I invited any of the ladies here to put their hands up if some would be interested in literally just holding on. But of course these young ladies are strapped in.
Quite a lot of the early people around the United States in particular, going from town to town, sleeping in barns. Katie Potts, 22 years old, from Gloucestershire. She helps out on the family. She's also a trained florist. Crossing over there at Crown Centre, flyer for Clacton Aero Club. Each other for another cross.
So as they go by, give them a wave, they can see you.
Shoal. Here coming in for synchronised barrel rolls. In front of the pilot's windscreen, halfway between the cockpit and the wing. Here they come for the cockpit lady. Served from UK shores during the Second World War, and of course Duxford was part of that history because as US Army Air Force Station 357 it was home to units of the 8th Air Force from 1943 through until shortly after the end of the war in 45. 78th Fighter Group was the main operational Army Air Force unit stationed here, initially with the Republic P-47 Thunderbolt. Then they switched to the aeroplane that we're about to see as part of this pair, and which will be the first of them indeed to take off. The smaller of the two aeroplanes, because we also have one of the great US heavy bombers of that period, the North American TF-51D Mustang. B-17 Flying Fortress missions were undertaken by the Royal Air Force. Here we see it escorted by the TF-51 Mustang, the two-seat version of the P-51, one of the main escort fighters that accompanied the B-17s. Classes such as this, the Flying Fortress and Mustang. offering donations large and small. You can do your bit today by signing up as a supporters club member at their stand near where the aircraft is parked. There's always an annual appeal put out in aid of Sally B, run by the aircraft's registered charity, the B-17 over Europe, badly shot up, but as so many did, somehow making it back to its base. And this fly past at the end of its display is, as always, dedicated to those 6,500 members of the Sally B Supporters Club, without whom this aircraft would not be kept flying.
On the B-17, you were a ball turret gunner, I understand.
Yes, I was down there for, we'd get in it when we saw the French coast, and then we'd get out when we saw the English Channel coming home. But I was down like Hamburg and Berlin for 8-9 hours, and I was down there probably for 5, 6, or 7 hours.
It must have been not only claustrophobic, but noisy and absolutely terrifying.
Well, we were dodging flak and fighters, so we didn't have too much time to really think about what we were encountering. But it was dangerous. Of course, it was dangerous. Every mission was dangerous. Every takeoff was dangerous. We'd take off when it was so foggy you couldn't hardly see your wingtips, and you were rendezvousing up there with.
They were talking as Sally B came into land, and the B-17 will shortly be taxiing past. A nostalgic sight for Doug, I'm sure, as is the spectacle of the Mustang now on display. Association with Duxford Airfield also started 75 years ago this year. The aircraft had been developed by North American Aviation in an incredibly short time. That to meet a Royal Air Force requirement initially for more fighters. The aircraft, as it first appeared, was engined with the Allison V-1710, a very fine fighting machine. And that certainly became apparent, Colin, on the sort of missions that these aircraft flew, escorting B-17s, as we've just seen.
Absolutely. I'm sure that Doug and his colleagues would have been so pleased to have seen these guys alongside them. And it was great to meet Doug and talk to him about his experiences. Unfortunately, it's really hot. I didn't want to put him out in the sun for too long and put him under any kind of discomfort. But I didn't get the chance to mention Turret Tales is a book all about what it was like to be a thoroughgoing.
Mustangs like the one we see here, stationed here in 1944-45. If you go to the American Air Museum, you can see one in the markings of the 78th Fighter Group, specifically an example named Etta Jeanne II. That named by its then pilot, Huey Lamb, who came over to unveil the aeroplane following its restoration. Huey had flown the P-47 Thunderbolt, a much larger, much outwardly more rugged airframe than the Mustang. You can see one of those up in the American Air Museum as well. And he told me on that occasion that him and his colleagues on the 78th Fighter Group weren't especially enthusiastic about the prospect of trading in their Thunderbolts for Mustangs. They saw the P-51 as being a rather delicate and potentially vulnerable airframe in comparison. baby ultralight aircraft. Then we have the Royal Aircraft Factory. Some are also tested with a single Lewis gun above the upper wing, and Le rockets can be carried to comp. Of course, the Pup was a pioneer of carrier-borne aviation. On the 2nd of August 1917, left to right we have the Sopwith triplane pursued by one of the Fokker triplanes. The other Fokker has put itself on the tail of the B-2C, a product of the Royal Aircraft Factory, which is engaged in a sector reconnaissance of German. Those are the aircraft now at Crowd Centre up above. The son of the man who built it, Charles Boddington, his son Matthew, restored the aircraft to fly a few years ago. Sopwith triplane smoking as it comes in. Across from the left, this is a single-seat fighter with a single point 303-inch Vickers machine gun. He first flew in May 1916 and took to the air for, and entered service, I should say, 100 years ago this year, for the 7 German kills in 3 months with its Tripe Hounds, as they were known. Here it is now from right to left in front of us. This replica, owned by Gordon Brander, representing the first prototype triplanes from 1916. But we see the B-2 now has a different aircraft on its tail, in the form of one of the 2 Junkers. On the left hand side, triplane, Fokker triplane, SE-5A and CL-1 engaged in a furious chase. This is the centenary year of the Fokker DR-1, the Dreidecker, or triplane, and it's made to fly slower than its allied adversaries. Of the 4 aircraft passing by from left to right, the last one is the Junkers CL-1. Path in front of us. Very good chance to compare these 2 famous designs, one of which, as I said, took part in the First World War.
The pilots have identified further depth positions and use a wing-over manoeuvre to reposition the aircraft in order to bring the 70mm rockets to bear on the enemy.
Good ship, cleared hot, tipping in rockets. Good ship, rifle.
Recovery from the diving fire profile, delivering a successful rocket strike, Jim reacts dynamically to avoid any ground fire, here conducting a 270-degree wing over. With a further enemy vehicle sighted, the pilot...
Rifle.
Converting speed to height, the pilot once again minimises the threat of ground fire, this time with a rapid climb and bunt, making tracking and predicting the aircraft's flight difficult for an enemy attempting to engage. The bunt sees the aircraft pitch from 90 degrees nose up to 90 degrees nose down at the highest point of the manoeuvre. Speed of 120 knots, the aircraft is pitched to 60 degrees nose up and 90 degrees angle of bank. Combining aft cyclic and pedal inputs, as well as monitoring the power required, the 10-ton helicopter can be flown back over its right shoulder through 360 degrees. A 360-degree hard left flaring turn can be used to wash off exit speed, allowing the aircraft to slow down of rockets, missiles, and an external fuel tank. Each rocket launcher houses 19 70mm folding fin rockets, while the missile rounds can hold up to 4 radar or laser-guided Hellfire missiles. These pylons will automatically articulate through 19 degrees to keep the weapons in firing constraints for as long as possible. Both the rockets and missiles can engage targets out to ranges of 8 kilometres, while the powerful M230 30mm cannon mounted underneath the fuselage can fire high explosive rounds out to beyond 4 kilometres, with a cyclic rate of 625 rounds per minute. As you watch gunship perform sideways laterals, you can see the Apache's impressive hull performance and a representative operational weight. Above the main rotor disc, you'll notice the distinctive shape of the aircraft's fire control radar. The radar is able to scan out to 8 kilometres, detecting over 1,000 targets, prioritising them, and offering the pilot 16 simultaneous firing solutions through the aircraft's weapon processors. Along with target detection and missile guidance, the radar is also capable of mapping the terrain ahead of the aircraft in flight to assist in navigation and terrain avoidance at night or in bad weather. On the nose of the aircraft is the target acquisition. Ladies and gentlemen, the British Army Apache attack helicopter. So that concludes today's demonstration of the Army Air Corps Apache helicopter. So on behalf of the whole team, Major Traherne, Staff Sergeant Balka and Gunship will now perform a customary brow to thank you for your support. They can see you up there, so please do give them a wave or put your hands together to show your appreciation for their efforts today. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2017 Attack Helicopter Display Team. To finish, I'd just like to remind you that you can visit us on social media for more team news and information on upcoming displays. Feel free to share your pictures of the day using hashtag
Jet Provost T5. And that's followed by another BAC product, the Strike Master Mark 82A. Left to right. Pair of aircraft from the Dragon family bus. Airborne. What we're going to see next combines one classic de Havilland aircraft with two classic Percivals, all of them using de Havilland aero engines. type or power of the aircraft. Likewise,
Can you do it again?
of the interwar period. Started advertising this machine, which, while this was a development of the earlier Dragon family aircraft, it was very different from its immediate predecessor, the Rapide, in many respects we saw earlier. And following it off, the de Havilland Canada DHC-2 Beaver. You can see the similarities, can't you? Fairly practical-looking aircraft, tough undercarriages, high wings, big radial engines. But if there's examples of the Pitts S1D Special, one of the greatest aerobatic aircraft of all time. By the 1960s, was among the world's leading competition and display aerobatic machines. In for the cross.
Regular performer at Duxford Air Shows. In every sense. Originally designed as a long-range patrol bomber, really
that you can
found this
see
brought
on the sides of the rear fuselage of this aeroplane. And there were many heroic exploits by Catalina Cruisel, the nation that operated it. At least the Dutch coast. At midday the next day, Messerschmitt Me-262 jet fighters of the Luftwaffe came along to shoot it up. The crew abandoned the Catalina and took to dinghies. They weren't rescued for another 4 days, and the loss of that Catalina is among the American aircraft that flew from British bases during World War II, the loss of which is commemorated as one of the silhouettes on the panels of the Counting the Cost sculpture that can be seen up the road that leads to the entrance of the American Air Museum.
And coming nicely into land, this pickup completes her display. Nose held off, just to protect that nose gear. You normally see vintage aeroplanes holding the tail off. This is exactly the same principle, but in reverse.
And flown today by Derek Head, a former RAF Andover and Hercules transport pilot, recently retired from a career in the airlines, and the co-pilot today was Jeff Boyling. The aircraft operated by Plain Sailing and owned by a group of 20 shareholders. Many of them pilots, what the French call an omni-role fighter. Transformation Rafale 3-4 Aquitaine, based at Saint-Dizier in eastern France, the French Air Force's Rafale conversion unit. French Air Force fighter pilot since 2000, and he's got 1,350 hours on the Rafale out of his 3,300 total flying hours, and indicating how active these aircraft have been on operations like many of today's generation of fast jets. He's completed 7 laps of operated by the Aircraft Restoration Company, and as it taxis in, you'll see the code letters on the fuselage QV, which are those of number 19 Squadron, because Spitfire N3200 is a restoration of an aircraft that served with that unit based at Duxford in early 1940. And here comes the second aircraft,